This could be the most important video that you ever watch on YouTube. First, here's the truth. Bitcoin is not going to make you rich, at least not anytime soon, maybe in a decade or two. If you want to get ahead of 99% of investors in the cryptocurrency space, then you need to dig deeper beyond the top coins. If you want to get the big money, then you need to be early on low cap altcoins, the next big things. So if you want to be anything more than just plankton for the whales, exit liquidity for VCs, then you need to listen up. But how do you do all this? Well, this video is going to be your guide to do exactly that. Now, why should you care about what I have to say on this matter? Well, because I have been an investor full time in crypto since 2017, and I have done the following things and made millions doing it. As always, keep in mind, crypto's risky. You can literally lose all of your money. Furthermore, I own cryptocurrency. Shocking, I know. If you want to see my full risk and portfolio disclosures, you can find that down below in the description. Okay, so let's start off with where do you even go to find coins early? This is probably the big question for a lot of people who wait around for a Coinbase listing, for a Binance listing, just to get dumped on by the people who took the risks and bought early. Stop being exit liquidity. So the first port of call is going to be CoinMarketCap. This is a data aggregation website that allows for you to see all the current prices of basically the vast majority of cryptocurrencies in the world, basically. And there's a few interesting ways that you can actually use this particular website in order to be able to allow yourself to find these coins early. So let me show you how. First, let's click on cryptocurrencies in the top left hand of the screen here, and then click on categories. Now, in this section, you can see a huge selection of different categories. Now, for our purpose today, let's look at the top Solana ecosystem coins. Solana, of course, very hot right now. So maybe it's an interesting place to look to find a gem, a low cap gem. Now, we have everything here from USDT and Solana in this category, paneled down to all sorts of low market cap gems. This ecosystem has plenty of coins under the $50 million market cap range. And that's like the sweet spot, by the way. That's where you want to find the coins. And there's actually some decent stuff down there. Of course, you still need to research them. Just being a low market cap doesn't mean anything. It means it's potential, but you still have to find if it's actually worth it to know. Here you can find the names, you can find the websites, you can find important information as well, like the total number of coins. You can see their social channels to gauge important information. Like, is anyone even still talking about this? Do their posts get any interactions, or are they totally dead? You can also go to the new listed coins section to see the newest coins that are being listed on the market. Now, a lot of garbage gets listed there, but sometimes you'll find a gem getting listed and go, oh, I'm early on that. Now, to be clear, most of what you see is going to be gutter garbage. It will go to zero very, very quickly. But every so often, you're going to see these gems popping up here. Something that got ignored by the market because, something else was happening that day. This new coin listed, Bitcoin decided to take a big fat 20% dump, and everybody forgot about this coin. Now, look, next one, my personal favorite tool, Wealth Mastery Newsletter. It is my newsletter, I know. And between me and my team of writers, we actually spend about 40 hours a week writing this bad boy. It is an alpha-packed report, which gives you the best alpha on airdrops, decentralized finance, technical analysis. We do weekly deep dive altcoin reports, gem reports, and much, much more. Join our over 100,000 weekly readers for free with the link down below in the description. Okay, now, another cool tool, free tool, by the way, you can use, DeFi Llama. This can help you find under the radar gems as well and potential tokenless protocols that might do an airdrop in the future. Now, what you want to do here, click on the chain that you want to learn more about. In this case, let's take a look at Arbitrum, see what's happening over there. Now we're going to be shown all the DeFi protocols that are currently on Arbitrum with key data like total value locked. The change in the rate of total value locked. Are people running away or is money coming in? You want to look for outliers here. Things with, for example, high total value locked, but a very low market cap. Low total value locked, but really, really big backers and TVL slowly going up, for example. And yes, there are definitely some of those protocols out there. Now, I dropped some names for the purpose of this video is to teach you how to fish, not to give you a fish, okay? And yes, DeFi Llama also has an airdrop page which tracks the top tokenless protocols. So there's some alpha there as well. Now, it's far from complete in terms of tracking all airdrops, but for tokenless protocols, it can be a pretty good resource. Now, let's talk about DEX Tools, the website that probably has the earliest on-chain alpha of any site mentioned so far, probably today. On DEX Tools, you can also connect your wallet and actually trade directly for some of the, shall we say, most degenerate on-chain shitcoins you can imagine. Also, not some garbage stuff, just early listed. Also that. It also shows the top trending pairs, which helps you to identify, for example, meme coins that are starting to trend before you start hearing them shilled to death on social media. This is where a lot of people get their early entries. For example, Avalanche-based meme coin Coq in you, COQ in you. Okay, it's French, it's cultured. Get your heads out the gutter. That started trending here on DEX Tools well before it hit a $10 million market cap. DEX Tools allows you not just to be early, but to act on being early in-app, which is nice. It also has info like the total number of holders to know if you're early or late buying. If there's only a couple thousand holders, you're early. If there's tens of thousands, you're kind of late. And you also have important info like the contract has been verified or not, and of course the current market cap and the current volume of that coin. This is all especially useful for those coins that are so new, they're not even on coin market cap yet, but they are on chain. The fourth tool is called DApp Radar. Now, this website that's pretty useful for, I think, finding in particular new trending games, either before they have a token or simply before everybody is talking about that token. Also, an important time to find coins, right? You can track key stats like unique weekly active wallets to help you find those upcoming gems. Again, look for disconnects. Huge growth in wallets, low market cap. Interesting. The fifth is Telegram and Discord. Look, there are so many groups out there on these two platforms in particular that share all sorts of early alpha and possibly, and most importantly, give you a community where you can share ideas with people, connect with people in a way that listening to a YouTube video or commenting on somebody's X thread is simply never going to do. And I know what you're thinking. Gosh, Lark, all that sounds like a lot of work. Yes, it does, because it is. Welcome to investing. If you want to actually make the money, then you need to put in the work. You need to do your own research instead of just waiting around to be spoon-fed someone else's bags. Again, we want to learn how to fish, not be fed somebody else's half-eaten fish. Let's move on to part 2 of this video. How to actually get the coins once you find them. So here are the 5 key methods to getting in early once you actually find a coin. One, of course, is on-chain. Yes, you need to be on-chain, download a wallet, get it happening. The best and cheapest shit lists on-chain first. Big listings on sites like BINANCE tend to mark local tops for many coins, unless it's a completely new listing. So be careful not to FOMO into the hype when you see a Coinbase or a Binance listing happen. So to do this, you're going to need a wallet like Phantom or MetaMask, probably a Kepler wallet too, to get on those new networks like Celestia or some of our OG networks like Injective and Cosmos. One expectation here as well is when coins solely list on exchanges to start. For example, Celestia. Really need to be bought on exchange in the first week or two. Just be careful not to ape if you are buying on exchanges for an initial listing of a coin that didn't happen on chain, to not ape in the first few hours, as prices tend to go insane on that initial listing, and you can and will likely get burned if you're buying the first 10 minutes or even a couple hours. Wait a few days most of the time to get a better entry. Second way, acquire coins as early as possible via token sales. Now, in some limited cases, you might be able to get into a pre-sale on a coin, but usually that requires being some kind of famous angel investor, an influencer, or like a venture capital firm. But the good news is that public sales can and often do print money non-stop during a bull market. No Americans, though. Sorry. You're being protected from making money by your guardian angels at the SEC. You're welcome, I guess. You can skip forward a minute in the video to the next part. Anyway, the top 4 launch pads to pay attention to are as follows. Number 1, the Binance launchpad. This has historically had some absolutely crazy listings for their token sales and for their launch pools, but definitely this one's a whale game. So unless you have some huge sums of cash, a bunch of BNB tokens you've been holding on for years, then it's probably not super worth your time in most cases, if we're being honest here. Number 2, CoinList. They have had some of the most insane token sales of all time, including Solana. Solana was a token sale on CoinList. Near, Flow, ICP, these things all did like 1000x gains. It's crazy. This is one platform not to ignore for sure. Number 3, Maker. They had some absolute bangers back in the last cycle. So far, this current cycle, there has been some decent stuff. My guess, we'll have more big stuff coming in the near future, so pay attention to that one. And number 4 is Ape Terminal. Now, Ape Terminal, new kid on the block. They have already had some very, very hyped listings, and they have an upcoming roster of more hyped listings. So check them out. And an honorable mention here is Paid Network, which could be making a bit of a comeback with this bull run. Now, all the details on exactly how to participate in that exact platform, it's slightly different for each one. I wish I could give you like, this is exactly how to do it every single time. No, it doesn't work like that. So again, you're going to need to knuckle down, put in the work, find out which one or 2 or maybe 3 of these platforms is actually worth your time and energy, depending on how big of an account you have, how much time you have, et cetera, and then figure out all the tips and tricks to make sure that you're always best positioned as you possibly can be to try and get an allocation. Because just one allocation can make you insane money that will change the course of your crypto investing. Some of these things come out at 100 or multi-100x valuations. So it is, for the most part, very much worth it if you can get in. Now, I would say that if you are not in a restricted jurisdiction, to hustle as hard as you can to try and get these allocations on these platforms. Okay. And look, there's like 10 other launch pads out there too. So maybe deep dive more into the topic. Maybe you'll like one of the other ones more than what I mentioned here today. It all depends, of course, how much time you have, but it's definitely worth it if you can get in. Okay, now, next thing is something that's definitely overlooked by a lot of people, as again, it requires some time, it requires some energy, it requires some elbow grease, right? Some work. And that's actually being an ambassador for a new project. So if you have like no money, but you have time, this could definitely be something to look at. For example, Moonbeam, they had ambassador programs that paid out like $80,000. $80,000. That's crazy, right? People got that money. But what is an ambassador? Well, it's like a super community member. Probably a good way to describe it. So you'll probably be doing stuff like moderating the chat groups on Discord, creating social content, making memes for them, different stuff like this. Now, obviously, you want to make sure to find the best protocols to be an ambassador for, because if nobody cares about that protocol or project, well, your airdrop, whatever it is going to be worth nothing. And of course, ask directly. Ideally, of course, after providing value already in their public chats, showing them who you are, what you can do. Then you say, I would like to be an ambassador. Let's make it happen. Look, there's lots of upcoming protocols that are doing airdrops and are likely contenders for needing ambassadors. And then there's existing protocols too that have constant need for these kind of super community members, these ambassadors, to be filled in as a paid role. Just make sure that you are not being used by these companies, because they'll do it if you let them, with no future potential of reward. Be clear about what you want and what you can do, and then ask for it. If you don't ask for it, you might not get it. Don't expect to just be given this, okay? Next way to get early, airdrops. I know I've been talking about this a lot, but the big alpha play, in my opinion, for 2024 is going to be airdrop farming. Now, there's going to be a full guide on how to do airdrops coming soon, so keep an eye out for that. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you can get the notification when that finally does drop. Anyway, for today's purposes, airdrops are basically incentive programs for early crypto projects. They give you tokens for being an early user of that platform and for helping them to test it and or bring money over to their platform to provide liquidity. There's a few different little metrics there, but here are the most common forms of how to get airdrops. Number 1, testing the testnet. This is free, by the way. So again, if you don't have any money, something to pay attention to. Many networks run public testnets before launch. In many cases, they will reward those early users who show up consistently, not just one time, consistently, and you do swaps and you move money back and forth between wallets. You interact with applications on the testnet, again, free. And there's often bonus points given if you deploy contracts on the testnet, if you run nodes for the testnet. Now, to be clear, sometimes you will get nothing or you'll get pennies. Sometimes you're going to get a lot. Sometimes you get life-changing money. Like all airdrops, it's a mixed bag. Second way, staking coins. So, for example, Celestia network stakers are getting regular airdrops just for staking their coins. Nothing fancy. Buy your Celestia, take your TIA tokens, stake them, wait, claim airdrops, get paid. The most common way is to get airdrops, and that's by being an early user. It's probably the most common things we see these days. So when a project goes public on the mainnet, but they don't have a token, then watch out, because an airdrop could be coming. Now, what you need to do in this situation is to Go and use the application, provide liquidity on it, do trades, mint NFTs, whatever that application does, do those things and do them consistently. And the fourth way here is by completing tasks like actually going and playing the game for games, for example. If there is one, go play it. Follow them on social media, be active in their Discord, do stuff like this. There's different websites like Galaxy that help you to do these kind of things. A lot of these companies run promotions through them. Now, the final method for getting free coins is by farming them. What is farming? Essentially, you provide liquidity, for example, into an Ethereum USDC pool on a decentralized exchange. And then in trade for that, you might get trading fees from that platform, plus some kind of standardized token incentives for bringing your money over. Now, the token incentive, that's the harvest that you get as the farmer. There's early token rewards. They can really add up, by the way, during a bull market. So if you're farming early, there's a lot of potential later on. Now, lots of people have made lots of money farming. Remains a very popular way to get tokens early. But keep in mind that these platforms can and do sometimes get hacked. Be careful. Okay, now on to the next section of this video. How do you actually find a good damn coin? Now, we've talked about the hard part here, finding them early, right? But keep this in mind. A recent report has shown that over 50% of listed coins on all these places like CoinMarketCap are dead. That's crazy. Well, the 50% are dead. Another 40% probably just zombies waiting to be smashed in the head with a shovel. Get down, zombie. So then 10% of coins are kind of quote unquote good, but of those 10%, not all are going to go on to make any kind of insane gains. Some will put in very modest gains, some will really do nothing. The odds are definitely against you in the long term, especially. Short term, during a bull market, everything kind of pumps, just some pump more than others. Okay. Now, here's a list of things to watch for in terms of a good coin that could make nice returns. Remember, you already found where to buy it early and you found it with all these different sites we mentioned. Okay. Number one thing you want to look for is the metrics. That's publicly available data. For example, are the number of users on chain going up or are they going down? Are the number of token holders increasing or decreasing? Is the platform revenue going up or going down? Is money flowing in or is it flowing out? Now, during a bull market, these metrics obviously should be increasing. If they're going down already, that's probably a problem. What about the team? That's number two here. Look, this is a very hard thing to quantify. It's very subjective. Sometimes totally anonymous teams can deliver like something really, really good that makes everybody crazy rich. And then a doxed team, there's no guarantee they're not going to rug pull on you. And of course, with AI the way it is now, you can't even know if a doxed team's real. They can and often do crazy things. But anyway, look at the team. Try and ascertain, do they have technical skills to make this happen? Do they have a track record of doing winning things? Are they relatively scandal-free? Can they handle public criticism? Are they responsive to people? Do they actually engage with their community? They're living in an ivory tower somewhere. Do they talk tech or are they just trying to pump the price of their token all the time? These are all questions to ask yourself. And you know the right answers to these. Then we come to the supply of the token. Who has it? And when is more coming to the market? And does the unlock schedule actually align with a long-term vision? Now, multi-year timeframes for investors and teams are what you want to see. Speaking of investors, well, VCs do not have a perfect track record in terms of picking the best winners. They do tend to at least back relatively legitimate projects the vast majority of the time. The teams at Coinbase, Binance Labs, Paradigm, Pandora, Polychain, whatever, they're all pretty good indicators that a coin has some real potential and has attracted the money of these big players. Their teams have literally researched this stuff already, and then they decided to come on as investors. Now, in a world of basically infinite VC money, you should always stop and question when you don't see at least a few big names on board, why? Why didn't these guys who have basically unlimited checkbooks all the time, why didn't they invest? What stopped them? Here's something else to consider, and that is what the heck does the token actually do? Does it actually have a purpose? Now, governance tokens, these tend to be some of the weakest use cases. So that basically allows you as a token holder to go and make decisions on the future of the platform. What upgrade are we going to do next? Blah, 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 blah. If you're really, really into that, great, I guess, go and enjoy yourself. But most of the decisions are made by the aforementioned parties, the VCs and the teams who will control the vast majority of the token supply. You with your $500 of tokens, you don't matter, okay? Hard truth. What you really want is a use case for the token that's going to provide viral potential for price gains. Now, that can be just as simple as great staking rewards. That can be great DeFi pools. That can be token burns. That can be all kinds of different things. A necessity to pay using that token as gas fees on a network, which could become very popular. A necessity to use that token to pay for GPU services or whatever it might be. Lots of different use cases. But there needs to be a damn use case. If there's no use case, good luck. And something else that's also nice to see when looking at a coin you want to buy is, well, an actual working product. Now, to be clear, getting in before a game is released or before the app's actually working, that's getting in super early and you're taking risks, but maybe the reward's right for you if a lot of the other stars line up. But anyway, it is riskier because that team may never actually deliver their product they promised, or it could take them too many years to do it, and then it's irrelevant because everyone else already delivered something like that. You can keep an eye on their GitHub. This is a nice metric to see if they're actually committing code on a regular basis. You can keep an eye if those developers are, well, actually doing their jobs. One final note here too, all of the above, everything I just said can be absolutely true when you see something. But then some non-dev comes by, they launch a meme coin with a dog picture. It makes millions. This kind of crap happens all the time, by the way. So all of what I just said is valid. Sometimes you also just need to trust your gut on things, but remember not to take too much risk here, okay? Maybe 1 or 2% of your portfolio on really crazy risk stuff. Now, here's a few key tips for increasing your chances of success. Number 1, be ready to fail many times. In spite of your best efforts, things can, will, and definitely do go wrong. Airdrop rewards are going to suck balls. DeFi farms are going to disappoint. You'll lose money on them. That on-chain gem you found and bought early, going to go to zero. It's happened to all of us. Learn the mistakes, grow, become better at the game constantly. Number 2, take profits so the market will take them for you. Nothing you see on screen will be real until you click the sell button. Absolutely nothing. This is in many ways the hardest thing for most investors to do. Many can and do all the above things, everything we just talked about. They find the good entry on the good coin, but then far too many people screw it up by never clicking the sell button. And thus they watch that life-changing money on their screens go down to potentially crippling, depressing losses in the next bear market. You will hate yourself. Trust me, you will hate yourself for not selling. And you will definitely thank yourself if you do sell. Don't screw it up. Chances are at the end of the cycle, you will have almost no altcoins left if you do this right, or maybe just some tiny moon bags left. Maybe a few top tier coins like Bitcoin you're holding for a decade. But otherwise, you're going to be empty. And that's probably a good thing. Number 3, be ready to rebalance your portfolio. Inevitably, you're going to buy duds. Cut them, get rid of them, say goodbye, peace out, and add to your winners. Look, inevitably, some random shit coin you bought is going to pump like crazy too. And what was 1% of your portfolio will become 20% of your portfolio in just a few days. Take profits on that. Do it mercilessly. Rotate back to safer plays in your portfolio. Take money out of the market even, right? Get those positions back down to reasonable levels where you feel comfortable holding them. This is about risk management. You've got to manage your risk in this market. Position sizing is a big way to do that. Number 4, get money out of the market. I love crypto, balls deep. But let's keep it real here. Hacks happen. Crazy happens. Platforms collapse. The next bear market will not be victimless. It'll be riddled with people losing everything. Keep long-term holds on a hardware wallet, something like Bitcoin. Keep stable coins somewhere safe. Again, hardware wallet to buy on that day when your timeline looks borderline suicidal, and when fear and depression reign, when there's blood in the streets and everybody's saying it's over, crypto's never coming back. That's the day you buy. Any extra money beyond the purposes required for doing that, get it out of the market. Buy yourself something nice. Buy some stocks, man. Buy a house. Live your life. Come back in a year or two after the crash starts. Buy the blood. Do it all again. Good luck.